Okay,
So, this was our place. It was first time since 14 years that I made it back to Germany, okay? And it was only due to my youngest son who had the money to do it, okay? So that, of course, is a blessing, right? And so he rented this Blackforest house. It's in a very small village, maybe 10 farms, very close together, near next bigger town, Kirchsarden, also it's already in the Black Forest, and near Freiburg, if you can even figure German geography. Okay. And so, let me see.
Looks like they were playing outside with the toys there.
There is the little town of Dietenbach, not town, it's a spot, you can hardly call it a village, okay? But the name of our Black Forest house was the Pfisterhof. And the owner told us it was built in 1489.
Wow.
Many of those Black Forest houses, they are maybe 300-400 years old.
Well, we've heard about the Black Forest, so
Yeah.
we eat Black Forest.
But the Black Forest is also a mountain range starting right there near Switzerland, Basel, and then moving up, I think beyond Karlsruhe, almost up to Heidelberg. It's a long mountain range. Yeah? And it's being called Schwarzwald because it's predominantly pines. And it gives those mountains from far away have a dark color, so they call it Schwarzwald. It was a development I just recently learned in the last 200 years. Before it was more mixed forage, a lot of leafy kind of trees. That all changed and pines took over. So as you can see, it's beautiful down here. So, yeah, he made it all possible, my young son. He lives in Arlington, Virginia, and he always, since 15 years here, very good jobs. He studied art, and but then he took more off with the computer part of his study, yeah. And so he has very good income. Yeah, so this is my younger brother. I just start now with introducing my family. Okay, I mean the main points, the main benefit of having done for 1 week in Germany was to reconnect with all my relatives. They live all in small towns, maybe in a 12-mile radius, you know, pretty close together. And this is my younger brother. He's 3 years younger than me. And this is in front of the Freiburger Dome, which we call Münster. The Gothic Dome the building started in the 12th century.
What's your brother's name?
Freiburg.
No,
Freiburg
his name.
Münster.
His name. Your brother.
Oh yeah, Gottman. His brother, Günther.
Gunther?
Günther, yeah.
Gunther.
Yeah. He's the youngest in my family, 3 years younger, at least 3 years younger than me. And yeah, he looks a bit more with his beard. And he's a smoker. Yeah. So all my relatives, that was one thing I found, all my relatives that smoke, they aged most. It was shocking to see how they aged. Including my younger sister, she's 1 year older than me. And his brother and a niece. They became more skinny and babies, you know. So yeah, lifestyle.
I should have told them about that, didn't you?
Lifestyle is one of the benefits we all are blessed with, you know. The principal lifestyle. So yeah, she's pointing out something to me. I forgot what it was. And this is my oldest sister. She's 10 years older than me. Born the same year as Esau, 1935. And she now has strong dementia. I could converse with her, and it turned out that she was really afraid of dying. And so I would tell her, Agda, please, over there, and that's more beautiful. She said, really, you believe this? I said, yes, it's about music over there, a lot of things happening over there, you know. So I'll be eager to get to during the conversation. Hopefully something sticks. And she's not the only one afraid of dying in my relative. None of my church go, except one. So that is my younger sister. She's 1 year older than me, yeah? And that is us here at my younger sister's home. And there we just unwrapped those pieces of Black Forest cherry cake which we bought at a Black Forest a mountain restaurant.
Okay.
The same day, yeah.
Wow,
But we decided to eat it at home, you know, because we were too full from the lunch. And those cakes are very rich. Very rich.
Wow. And who's the other young man?
There's again Garmon and his friend Roy.
Okay.
He did all the driving. Yeah. And roads in Germany are quite narrow, the country roads. The smaller country roads than the mountains. It's hard that even two cars getting by each other. Okay. And a lot of people ride the bicycles, young and old. And that is on my first day meeting my younger brother in Freiburg. That is the right left side, there would be the Freiburger Münster, and there were some outdoor cafes, and so good, my younger son and his friend, they went shopping meanwhile, our first day back in Germany, okay, and so my brother and me had some time together, and so I ordered a Black Forest cup, Black Forest Becher, with ice cream, but on the bottom of it there was cherry brandy, and what is it?
They got happy.
And I was very surprised. It made me feel bad, old enough.
Sorry. It's probably too sweet, too much liqueur.
Yeah, too much sugar.
Lots of sugar.
Interesting experience, right? Okay. And this is my grandnephew, the one in the black outfit, and his son. And he is the one. He had a rocky life. At age 16, he started his own rock band. He studied music then, yeah. And so he had a rocky life. He finally got married after the fourth child.
Well, it's time.
And he was still he's still running this band. On the Saturday of that week, there was a big festival in this little town, and this band was playing. It was an outdoor nighttime dance, big meadow area, and so his band was playing.
Nice. And the young man?
So,
Is the young man his son?
that's his second oldest son.
Okay.
Yeah. His oldest son, I met too, and he's only 23 years old. He started his own media company already. Yeah. He used to have a radio hour where he would disc jockey music for young people, and he studied music journalism. Very capable young man.
And that's an organ there?
So,
Is that an organ?
yeah, so he was demonstrating me the organ in the small town's church. It was always known to me as a Protestant church, but he is Catholic. And so he got involved. He's helping his pastor, and then his son, Marcel, he did all the video work, the video and sound, and he did all the music, either on keyboard or on the organ.
What's your relationship to the man on the black shirt?
That's his nephew.
I see.
Yeah, but actually, I was told they sometimes also perform Catholic services in the church. It's the only church in town, and they restore the church beautifully inside. That's the organ up there, and at that day they just prepared for a wedding, and that's the church from the outside. When I was a boy, the church was really run down and poorly. Okay,
It's better now.
Mm-hmm.
and that's Marcel. So he came that Saturday for
That's a beautiful picture.
we played the second saxophone in the band.
Ah.
This after a day of hard work. So he was moving around with a TV crew, and then he made a wedding. It was professional photography for weddings and things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then he still came to help his dad.
And he plays saxophone.
Yeah, that's the saxophone. They had an older man playing the first saxophone. He was very good. 73 years old. It was dance music, okay? Playing oldies. You know?
Was it German music or mixed music?
And that's Marcel's mother, the Daniela. That's they have 5 children.
Nice picture.
This is my younger sister's daughter. She got paralyzed when she was 26. She's also on left side kind of paralyzed, but she is walking upright and driving a car. She's doing okay. And this is now like in my hometown. That's the old city hall, and right behind the city hall is the Hotel Post.
Okay.
That's where Marie Antoinette
Who's that?
stopped by to stay overnight in our car on the way to Paris to marry Louis XVI.
Wow.
Who is Marie Antoinette?
You know that question. You know what happened to her?
No.
She got
Beheaded.
guillotined
For
in the French Revolution. She got
Okay.
guillotined.
What
First
century
her
is this?
husband, Louis
17th century?
XVI.
16th century.
What year?
1787.
Yeah.
87.
She was,
It's a good,
she
good
was,
memory.
she was the queen, king, she
Well,
was the wife of King Louis, and then there was the French Revolution,
Yeah.
and then she ended up getting
She
beheaded.
was
but she made
14 years old.
made a very famous statement, let them eat cake, because she thought that everybody, there were people that were hungry in the streets, and so she was like, well, why don't they just eat cake? Because she
Yeah.
thought that everybody ate cake, but
Okay.
everybody did eat, so it made,
Not only
And
that,
when she was
in
guillotined?
Austria,
Yeah,
Oh my
not
gosh.
just for that, but
Okay, okay.
in
yeah.
Austria and in Germany, all housewives know how to make cake, but they do not know how to make bread.
right, that's
Bread,
sad.
you always put in the bakery. Only farmers, they would know how to make bread. They would make their own bread. But so that she knew, all housewives knew how to make cake. So at least
Right,
make
let
cake.
them eat
meanwhile.
cake. So it's an honest statement.
That's
but-
very beautiful.
It's an honest statement, but seriously.
I like that name, Marie Antoinette.
Marie
Antoinette.
Antoinette.
Yeah, her
Oh,
mother.
Marie Antoinette.
Yeah, her
From
mother.
French.
Her mother
She
was
was
very
French.
Look it up.
famous.
Look it up on the internet. Oh God.
Yeah, I'll read a few
Come,
paragraphs
watch it.
maybe.
Yeah, her mother was Maria Teresa.
And that actually is a canal, a trade canal, has been there since, I don't know, maybe 100 years. So there's fish in there, okay? It's not a polluted water. And this house here, that's where I used to live in last time.
Wow.
I grew up in the West End, there's a picture of that. There was the poorest area right downtown, okay? And now it's most beautiful.
Wow.
But that was
Did you get a
the
chance
last
to go
house
your
I lived
own
in
home
Emmendingen.
Did you get a chance
Sorry,
to go
walking out.
there?
Okay.
I walked by there, you know, somebody lives in there, you know, but it's right next to the Catholic Church.
Yeah, I see that.
And then this
Oh,
is
that's
another,
beautiful.
this is very close by to that brown house I just pointed out.
And
on
that's the canal underneath?
Yeah?
The canal is underneath
Yeah,
that bridge?
that's right at the canal and the bridge goes over, yeah. And there's a little estate, an old estate where one of the aristocrats lived in. And that aristocrat built that little house for a local poet. So they call it his name was Lenz, they call it the Lenz Häusle.
Okay.
So in that little house I got flute lessons.
Food lessons. Flute.
I joined the stud music, the city band, okay, and I first learned pipe when I was 14, and then I upgraded to flute.
Okay.
So that's again back in Dietenbach, the house where we stayed, yeah, and so that's for the back of it, you know, and many of the Black Forest houses they have solar panels.
Yeah, I saw
Old,
that,
old houses,
But now
400 years old, but sometimes the whole roof full of solar panels. It's very popular in
yeah. I
Germany.
see. It's cheaper than electricity.
And this was also on the Friday of that week. We invited them all our relatives. So all the people we visited, they came. So we put 3 families together: the Matzes, the Hillers, and the Schicks. So that was really
Different view here of the camera.
So he's the husband of my oldest niece, and he just sold his driving school, was drives to teacher. And he's still in good shape. So again from the back, the same house.
What a nice place. Oh, they got one of those.
And this is very typical. Many of those Black Forest farms have their own cross outside on at the road between the properties and
It's a
so that
crucifix.
is so
What is that significant of? I mean, why would they do that?
for protection and to invite blessings.
Oh.
I mean, in all these farmers, they are very dependent on the grace of God, weather. Who does the weather? God does it, right?
Right.
Okay, so weather was very important. Also, they needed protection from lightning. All those houses were like cinder boxes. They're all made of wood. Some with reed covering on the roof. Yeah. And so, whenever there was thunderstorm, the whole family would gather in a good room. Where in one corner there was a crucifix and maybe some icons and flowers. That's where they would pray for
But they
protection.
didn't get hit by lightning
Yeah.
and burn the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
understandable.
So their religiosity was well rooted. They knew they were dependent of God.
Amen.
200-300 years ago, those farms, many of them barely kept alive. They had to be
Getting different
leased to the ones that owned the ground. Okay, most farmers didn't own the land. The land was mostly owned by cloisters.
How do you do this here? God darn it.
So some of those cows. Dairy farm is very big in the Black Forest. And some nice flowers there. And this was then
They
the
barbecue
big
in
day
Germany
with the
too.
barbecue and everything, you know. It was wonderful. We were sitting outside till about 11 p.m. or so, yeah. And it was really great. This is she's not here. He's the boyfriend of one of my nieces, my younger brother's daughter, and she doesn't want to marry because she has maybe once a year an epileptic attack. So she didn't want to sit home. but she is with this man since 30 years. Yeah. And he is researcher for forestry, in forestry research. So I lived right next to the church. I was other boy there. Okay.
So you went back home to your home church. That's your home church. There.
Oh yeah, it's a new Gothic style. The church is not that old, like 150 years, 200 years. Yeah. And then the Protestant church too is same new Gothic.
Gothic, you mean? Gothic?
What?
Gothic, Gothic.
Gothic. Yeah, I pronounce it wrong. I know.
No,
In
what does that
German
mean?
it's Gothic. You pronounce Gothic.
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 It's a period of time. in
Right,
history.
right. Can you tell us
This is
more
built
about
around
that?
12th century, the original Gothic styles. Maybe 10th century would be Romanic, where the windows have a round printing. Gothic has a more pointed ending.
Sharper.
And so on that Thursday of that week, we went to Strasbourg.
Oh, there. Looks like they're renovating that one.
All these domes, you rarely see them without some scaffolding.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see.
Because the pollution, the acid, whatever, is very bad for the sandstone.
Yeah.
This
because
is
it's old.
And so all these big domes, they have their own stone mason department where they constantly renew certain parts that need to be becoming a danger, you know. And it's amazing how they hang on those towers.
I see. Yeah.
And so, like mountaineers on ropes, you know. Amazing. So more amazing is what kind of technology did they have 700-800 years ago?
Good question.
You can only imagine some people died building this.
Good point, good point.
This also was in Strasbourg, and I never, this is the front, massive front. Yeah. I never visited Strasbourg before. It's only about 30 miles away from Freiburg. And the Freiburger Münster and the Strasburger Münster, they got started about the same time. I think those two towns are competing with each other.
They have red doors.
Also Strasbourg is on the French side of the River Rhine,
Okay.
and Freiburg on the German side of the River Rhine.
Was that a special service, like on a Sunday morning, or what day of the week was that?
No, this year is just tourism.
That's a
Tourist area?
Tourist,
Tourist lane.
Oh, it's a closed church, no longer servicing?
Actually, it turned out the day we visited Strasbourg was the Bastille Day. It's a French nation
Bastille Day?
holiday. Bastille.
Oh,
Bastille.
They started the French Revolution.
Yeah.
Bastille.
Yeah.
They started?
When the French stormed the Bastille, which was a tower in France.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe somebody got imprisoned. What is the Bastille was a prison.
Yeah, it's
You know?
French history.
So, but there was some conflict and people rose up.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
So that's inside of it.
Beautiful.
All of these Münsters or domes, they have a rosette window in the back. Beautiful.
Yeah.
You know.
Very nice.
That's also one of those pillars, incredible tall pillar with all kind of ornamentics. And that's the Freiburger Münster.
And what
Not
about-
as massive outside like the Strasburger, but inside totally.
Hi, Ben.
It's amazing that they at that time could do this. Hey, Ben! So this is the Freiburger Münster, Gothic, you pronounce it like Gothic.
Gothic.
Style dome, started building in the 12th century. It took usually 2 or 3 centuries to complete them. again, in generation after generation would walk on that and fundraise for it.
Because they had to give the money to keep it going, huh?
Yeah. I could think many aristocratic families gave a lot of money to build things, you know. Again, for the same reason, we need God's protection. We need God's blessings, you know. So you think tithing and fundraising in our time is a big deal. There was a bigger deal maybe on that.
Back then, huh? I guess so.
I said, actually, everything around that millstone was destroyed.
How? The war?
World War II. 1944. And they took out those windows. They were stored away in a safe place.
Thank
They were
God.
all
And then they
destroyed.
rebuilt them all.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
nice.
They knew it was coming.
I really like that.
Like
Yeah.
a lot of big cities in Germany.
Catholic
Yeah,
type.
so they
Very.
protected them.
I really like it.
And this was which I took in the Strasbourger Münster Museum.
Mm-hmm.
There you could see the things.
We gotta go over there.
So what does that drawing represent, Pastor? What is that? What's happening in that drawing?
It looks almost like the passing of Maria, the Mother Mary.
Oh, I didn't even heard about that.
I mean, the Catholic Church, such things are being commemorated. Even Jesus' ascension is being commemorated. I asked my wife the other day, so that was when Jesus, after 40 days, went to heaven. Right? He was crucified, and 40 days later, he ascended to heaven. That would be then kind of the end. But if you have any questions,
Finishing that.